Yes, we're back, second podcast, what's happening?
But where is he?
He's shat it.
He's shit.
Where is he? He's fucking shat it, man.
He's hiding under the Celtic bed covers, isn't he?
Aye,
Fucking, he's
100%.
with
Not going
Bobby
to tell you who
Martins.
he's with.
The scarf's
Cup
half
of tea.
The scarf's half a telly, innit?
Imagine he was in Bobby.
He's in Bobby Martins with a cup of tea, toasting to Andy Halliday.
Oh, what a boy. He could turn up for fucking...
Ah, who knows?
Who knows? Right, boys, we've got big news. It's a big... He's not here, but we've got another big signing.
Aye.
Grosvenor Sports is on board.
Oh, what a season they're off as well. What a,
They
what
had a great
season.
Euros, didn't they?
They had a great
They were your dark horses for the Euros. And
Dark horses, they proved me right. They got in Team of the Year and all, didn't they?
They did.
Them and Pogba in the middle of the pitch.
That's it.
So they absolutely ran the show. So good on them.
So, mate, they're sponsoring us for 21-22 on the podcast, Keep the Ball on the Ground, and writing the Coopman Show as well.
Brilliant. Different class, that
Few quid in the bank this year, boys!
Yeah.
We're flying.
Obviously, we must be getting a pay rise next week, so I look forward to the money at the bank.
Well, you've been asked to be paid in chips. Is it casino chips
Casino
or triple
chips or
coops?
no, I prefer the normal chips.
Are they getting out any offers yet?
Well, we'll be finding plenty of enhanced offers from Grosvenor Sport.
The day
throughout
that
the
beat
season.
the £10 bet, £30 free bets, that would be some
definitely.
bet that.
You can sign up now.
Can you?
Can you believe it?
You're joking.
Where
So
do
you
you
see how
go?
we're
How did I
talking
get
about
that?
teams just going out and playing without a game plan. Grosvenor Sports have put things in place already before the start of the season.
That's why
you're
they were in
successful
so
at
early.
it.
Aye. That's why they're in so early. Made sure they worked on their identity and that. They've got their style of play.
Style of play, mate. Exactly.
It's a great start.
Andrew, you can sign up now at gsport.com. That's gsport, Kevin, not gsport.com/open goal.
Different
Superb,
class.
man.
We're flying, lads.
We are. We're
I'm
back,
not
mate.
happy he's not here, by the way. I'm actually not happy at all.
It doesn't surprise me because I was in the group chat when you see the old WhatsApp and it goes blue, a couple of double blue ticks. His no, he's not reading anything.
Aye.
No.
We did be impartial, didn't we? And we gave our honest opinion, but
Yeah.
half camera, me and him gave each other a wee bit, didn't we?
That was the group
And he's-
chat was good, wasn't it?
Aye.
What was he calling you, an animal?
He's got me an animal, aye. By the way, have you noticed, I've no longer got the worst hairline at open goal. Fact is,
Mate, see if you
that is a forehead and a half, by the way.
That is tearing me, I'm devastated.
Your head's gone.
To be fair, you've got a great hairline.
I know,
But
but
it's
look,
high.
oh wait, he's just wrote in the
It's
chat.
high.
Oh man, I just woke up, had a camp today and dozed off when I came home at 4. Have you started?
No chance.
That's what you have.
Just tell me to
for
get here. But we can't wait them, surely.
No.
Aye, tell me to just come now. We'll get
Right, he's
we'll get
getting
his
his Uber,
in.
so he will be here, so
We'll get his
you
entry
can.
halfway through.
So before he comes, obviously we're going to talk about Hearts, but did you notice that Wraith were 4 up against Hamilton at the weekend?
Aye.
67 minutes. Supposedly Chipper on the side has went like that to one of the young boys. Get the fucking Balenciagas.
You're joking.
Mate, one of the young boys has ran in,
He's no dusted them at the cupboard for him, is he?
put them on, 4-4 it finished.
Unbelievable.
It's a secret, mate.
Isn't it?
It's the
That's
key to
all that.
success.
So there you go.
Ross Callahan, man, what a game he had. Didn't
Did
he?
he score?
He's at Ross
4.
County.
He's left Ross County. We'll talk about the brilliant to the football back, innit?
Aye. Tell you what, some good games as well.
Bluetoon.
Bluetoon. It's performance of the weekend, if you ask
We
me.
worked on the tactics, didn't we?
Great
Got them
start.
right.
Talk us through it before we get into the games, the big games.
So
How
we've
colour did Fergie's face go?
Fergie was he wasn't happy. He wasn't happy. But we went 4 diamond 2, mate. 2 at the front, 2 were unplayable.
What was the reasons for it?
Because we felt we had an aging back 2. So we thought if we could put a couple of passes together, get the ball down the side of them, it would work and end up getting 2 goals for it. So it's not just luck, Kevin, football.
Aye, exactly.
It's research,
You
Simon.
get what you put in it, mate.
Research.
That's why we've got Grosvenor Sports coming back to us wanting to give us
Exactly.
sponsorship deals.
It's,
So they've done a half-arse it, mate, do you know what I mean?
Fully deserved or what?
I would say so. I think Fergie came out after the game and says that we deserve to win.
Did he?
To be fair to him, he changed at half-time, made 2 subs, changed the shape, made it hard for the second half, but the boys seen the game, mate.
would you
They'll
say?
do all right.
Years
this
gone
year,
by,
that.
mate, we probably would have drawn that game because they were in the ascendancy second half, but we just had a mature performance in the
Would you
second half for the
see?
young
Would you
boys.
see enough in Fergie's team that they'll go on a wee bit, like they'll pick up?
He was getting a bit for the
first
fans,
game.
but again, it's the same as probably Ange and guys like that.
Aye.
He needs time, mate, doesn't he? He didn't just come in overnight
Aye.
and turn it around. He signed 9 new players, so it'll take away
It's
from
a hard league this year. That's probably one of the hardest ones to predict in Scotland, I'd say, for this year.
Yeah.
Cove, Falkirk, them,
I know.
Queen's Park, spend a bit of money.
I'm telling you now, I'm saying this on camera, I'm quietly confident for us.
Oh!
I like that.
That's a big shout, I love
I
that.
like that.
Why no, mate? What else
just
in
come
the game
last year,
for?
9th?
No, 7th, I think.
7th?
Maybe 8th.
no.
I tell you what, I'll be rooting for you, mate. That's
Thanks,
for sure.
mate. Cheers.
Yep.
I need to give a shout out. We got I seen Jazz McPake played a couple of young boys for Dundee at the start of the season. They've got a 3 on loan, very good.
Are they?
Oh, the wee boy played against us.
Lyle, you seen him? Boy,
Done really well,
Josh Mulligan as well, wee Danny. So good upbringings as well. So
Did-
to Dundee.
5'2", but good player.
Very good.
A couple inches smaller than you. Aye, decent.
Mate, it's not the time to come for my height after this as well.
He used to be 5'3".
4 he's took up to 5'5".
What's the marks on the side of your mouth?
Shit.
Saxophone. You've been playing all weekend? You've been blowing his saxophone? But actually, -2, mate. How you feeling? Buzzing?
Tired.
What a start to the
Still
season.
tired, man. It's an absolute grind. But aye, big start. I don't want to give you the sportsy answer, but that's all it is. It's just a good start. We were all, I said last week, Celtic are a good team, but we'll be confident against anyone at Tynecastle. If we play well, we'll get results. To be honest, I think we can be better. I really do. I think we can play better.
And what, on the ball?
On the ball, creating chances. I think we started the game really well, sort of first 15, 20 minutes, and you know yourselves, man. See if you go 1-0 in a game where you're not really fancied,
You're buzzing.
I don't know what
Something
it is,
hang on to.
but I don't know what it is mentally where you just end up dropping that 5-10 yards deep at a time, hold on to it. Probably helped Celtic a wee bit, but I still thought we defended really well. You're looking at the last couple of minutes before Celtic created 2 great chances, and they were really, really good chances, but that's why you've got top goalies in the
If you were on a
sticks to keep
10 or a
it.
touch at the weekend, how much?
30 quid.
30 quid.
100%. And see if it was a 10 for pass completion, I came out with 20. But no, mate, see, generally, right, this is mad to say because after the final whistle, right, buzzing, unbelievable feeling. See, during the game, it's so hard to enjoy games like that, because you're so concentrated and invested in just working as hard as you possibly can to get the result. But what do we have, 21% possession, 29%?
Mate, I did feel for them,
like-
Kev, because see when you're playing a 2 in centre midfield, you've got two full backs coming in, they're playing with a 3 in there. It's like, who the fuck do you pick up?
5-2-3, but see, to be fair, right, I might get a bit of stick off this after boys, but the gaffer deserves a lot of credit for the result of the weekend. He does, mate. He does. You know how much stick he came under last year, and I said that.
What for his shirt?
You said
What, you talking about the shirt he wore or what?
I was going
no,
to
it's for
say,
playing what was it, the piano he plays?
I was going to say that he made a sub at the right time, and it was the right sub.
Aye.
Because it's a big boy. Wait, here.
Put Parra and I put 3 in the midfield to shore it up a wee bit and have a bit more there.
And then it ended up the last 15, 20 minutes, Hearts looked the only side that could possibly win the game. But I don't know. I thought Hearts.
Although saying that, Celtic did hear a goal disallowed, which for me was.
I know. Looking back, that was, if VAR was in Scottish football, that would be deemed a goal.
I heard you whispering Bobby offside.
I've heard the rumours flying about, but fucking.
Oh, own goal, mate. Own
Sums
goal's
up
part
some of
of
the
a conspiracy
mentalists these
theory.
days.
Yeah, looked in it. Challenge
every-
on McGregor.
Mate, how many times do people message you asking you, I bet the open goal boys I wanted to just write back, look, we're just going to brush it under the carpet. We're not going to talk about it.
Mate, that's not a red card.
No,
No, it's a yellow card.
It's a yellow card.
I think
100%.
if you
It's
look
not
at
a red card.
the two similar instances at the weekend with yourself and
Anderson.
Callum McGregor and the boy Anderson
Aye.
at Ross County, and
Anderson's a red card.
Anderson's teeth gritted, try to leather him
Aye, just
to
touched
stop.
the fucking-
Whereas what you've done is you've tried to deliberately stop Callum McGregor advancing forward. It's a lazy tackle, and at the end of the day, when you slow it down, it's caught Callum McGregor's ankle. That's how it looks worse. Callum McGregor got up, and that was it.
There was no malice
He
intent
probably
in it
would have done the
whatsoever.
same to you had it been.
No,
That
no,
happens
but-
all the time in football,
Aye.
but because it's.
Sorrow done it, mate.
Oh, okay, no giving it that, yeah.
Red card, mate. Red card. Where's the compliance officer?
I'm not going to sit here and defend and say it like sticking up for Andy or whatever. At the end of the day,
No, if I thought it was a red card, I would say it was a red
it
card.
wasn't a red card. It was a bad tackle, but it's not a red card tackle. He's just trying to stop Callum McGregor advancing. That's what happened. And at the end of the day, it's to your own. I'd have done the same. I know I'd have done the same. It's just because when you slow every tackle down, they sometimes look worse. And at the end of the day, that's
Generally, there was no
people are
malice
like,
intent in it whatsoever.
No.
It's a poor tackle, and it definitely deserved a bit.
Aye, Bobby Madden's the one we should be talking about because it was a fucking shocking decision.
It's nothing to do with open goal. He had an eye patch on for the full game.
No.
Do you know what I mean? What can we do? But how was he so after it? Decent.
Aye, unbelievable. All that for a score? Worth it.
To be fair, watching a few of the games this week, I think the referees had a bad weekend, a bad start to the season.
Well,
so.
get on
what
to
were
that,
you talking
aye.
about? Dundee penalty? Not a penalty.
Dundee penalty, shocker.
What else?
That's it.
No,
I
I
don't
just the
Okay.
even
watched that
the Hamilton, no, St Johnson, St Johnson's penalty. I thought that was a bit
Harsh call Donaldson.
Aye.
Uh-huh. Right, we're just on Andy. He's confident going into the game.
I'm confident we could get a result if we played well.
What was the game plan? Just to let Celtic come up to a certain point, let them have the ball up to the halfway line. Maybe.
I think everyone's seen that our shape was 5-2-3 and 5 because Celtic's 3 best players and probably the majority of people's opinions on the forward area, so you need to try and nullify them. But then 3 because if we stole it in certain areas, we wanted to try and hit them in the counter attack as quick as possible. I think the first goal I think was pretty much similar to what we were looking for when the fullbacks were advanced when we win it, try and slip it down that area.
These sides were on massively.
Get people into the box, I think it worked well. And then obviously the gaffer done his due diligence and realised
that's where Nielsen's decent, isn't it?
Celtic conceded, do you know Celtic conceded 87% of the goals for set pieces last year?
See the set piece, the set piece is
a set piece or a set phase.
I don't know why they're so high for the set piece. Why they're not defending that set piece on the 18-yard box?
Mental. Because I think the actual renowned stat is across the league last year was 33% of goals scored was for set pieces. Celtic's conceded was 87%.
So and the gap between Beaton and what's your man's name? Starfelt. They should be right next to each other. I'm talking 2 yards between each other, stopping people running through the middle of them.
Simon, when I played, I always had to go back for every corner because of my height, and the gaffer always used to say to me, Kevin, you're picking up so and so, but at the same time, have an eye on the ball, and if you can just go and win it, just go and win it. Surely one of the defenders must be thinking, right, I've kind of got my man to a point, but at the same time, I might steal a yard and maybe take a gamble as to where it's going. Not one of them went to go and challenge that header. And I understand it's a decent header for Big Suter, but do you not think Scott Bain's maybe got to...
But what, do you know why that happens though, Kev? Because we do this all the time. I argue fucking all the time about this. See, the reason that you defend high is so that your goalie can come and get the ball, right?
Maybe start on the 6 yard box.
Start on the 6 yard line, Andy, and you can come between the 6 yard line and the 18-yard box and come and take the ball. Mm-hmm. But Celtic start 2 or 3 yards ahead of the 18-yard box. Yep. Scott Bain's never going to come to where the ball lands to come and get that ball.
I can't really remember the start.
What he does do, Kev, is he creeps out a wee bit, and that's why then he gets the ball going over his head. But Celtic should be on the 18-yard box defending that set piece for me.
So there's an argument with both there where the defence are too high, and secondly, if Scott Bain should realise that they're too high and just stay. But
I think they're told as a goalie, we want you to come and get this.
I know, but surely as a goalie,
it depends on where the ball goes, doesn't it?
Let's have a. We talked about it. We were talking about a certain coach, couple of coaches in the Premier League where they're getting out things to tell players what they want to do in certain areas. You still have to make that decision yourself. So as a goalkeeper, standing on there looking at your back four, you could be screaming and shouting to say either get up a bit or drop. You should take the initiative to say to yourself, right, wait a minute, they're too high. I'm going to drop back just in case. Because if he drops back even a couple of steps, there's no way Suter's putting that over top. He'll save it.
Yeah, if he's on his line, he saves
because he's come up.
Yeah.
And the defence is where they are. It's just it's one of them.
That's where Craig Gordon's good. People see Craig Gordon and think he's good because of the saves that the shots that he saves. Sorry, but it's his decisions as well.
Yep.
He stays on his line for that cross. He realises I'm not coming out of no man's land there because a good chance. He'll stay on his line. And
I'm not blaming Bain because I think the defence should have dealt with it first and foremost. But at the same time, that's taking initiative of yourself and your own choice to say, right, wait a minute, I think they're too high. I'm just going to hot fire here just in case that does. And I think it would have been some header to beat him had he been dropped back a couple of yards.
Two big saves at the end, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
The first one especially for me. But see the second one. This is like you say this about good goalies. I expect him to save the second one. Everyone's talking about how good a save it was, but see, because I know how good he is, I'd expect him to save it all day.
I would agree with that.
But the first one for me, timing to come out, make yourself big, and just flicks your shoulder out to take over the bar. Because I'm going to be honest, even Forrest went through and go, I'm like, go.
I didn't think that.
After Thursday night,
I had the similar chance on his right side, and I just didn't think the comms levels are there now that was going to be in. But big, and the header from the corner from Starfelt, was Starfelt header?
Yeah.
It would have been some header to beat Craig Gordon from where he headed it, and I think like we talked last week, a proper goalkeeping captain's performance.
You made that.
Fucking shocker, didn't I?
But again, it's just the decisions that he makes. You never see Craig Gordon. You're never worried that he's coming when he shouldn't have come.
He never
just always
things.
Makes good decisions. That's what the top players do for me. Like McGregor, no great at coming for crosses. So if it isn't on for him to come, he stays on his line.
No, I'd agree with you. I'd definitely agree with you. I think that's the problem at Celtic. And I was Barker started the first European game, and then Bain's come in. It's like you're basically getting that. It's a raffle. You get a couple of games to see how you go, and there's nobody actually wanting to put their name to the position, say, well, I'm going to be the goalie, because they're all making mistakes. And I just think, I don't know, for me, it's, there's talk of players coming in and stuff, and I think every position in that team could be filled. Need a goalie. Need somebody with a bit of commanding.
Did you fart in Christoph Berra's gum shield?
Christoph, what
He's come for me, wasn't he?
He's what he
What happened last year?
Nah, it's a game of opinions, mate. If you think it's a red card, I think it's a red card. But for me, fucking hell. If that's a red card, he'd have been sent out fucking 60 times last year.
Did you and him no speak last year?
No,
gum shield, mate. He can't do something. He's gum shield, didn't he?
Do you know what, as well, see, after the game, I seen he was in the studio, I was like, Christoph, see if I knew he was saying that behind.
He waved back to you and then you turned when he went.
But do you remember he done a full podcast with a gum shield up his ass?
That's right.
Yeah, but he was
big man was like that.
He was part of
One weekend I seen the big man with his eyes rolled in the back of his head. He'd had his gum shield.
Sinking into his chair. He was part of the Mick McCarthy clan, wasn't he?
The big Christoph, aye. Big Christoph at Wolves.
But what about the atmosphere? You used to know it. What about Souttar's interview at the end?
I never saw that.
Fans were fucking going mental,
mate. I just, I was like pleased for Hearts, because they've got a soft spot in my.
I've actually sat through Kev with a Hearts player, right? And he's actually says the words to me, if you ever see a centre midfielder chasing down a goalie, then there's something far wrong.
Have I said that?
I don't know, did you?
Have I?
I'm sure the last night we heard you said that.
Did I? I can't remember. I got carried away.
I
swear to God, right, I actually talked about that this morning. I was like, what was I doing in the first minute? I was fucked for the next 5.
I can see
just getting carried away, mate. It's like the
big
adrenaline take over, just chasing goalies.
Please for big Souttar though.
Oh,
Two Achilles.
Hearts' first goal sums up John Souttar. And do you know what, Kev? He gives the ball. He gives a poor pass into your wee mate for Everton. But do you know what he does? He reacts to it, mate.
That's what we were
He doesn't pass that and then drop off. He gives the ball away, bang. He's
Hearts
reacting
goal,
to the next mistake.
Hearts' winning goal comes from his determination to get the ball back.
He's brilliant, Souttar.
On the left-hand side, he was pressing. Eventually, they got a free kick, and that's what's led to the winning goal. But for me, Celtic are talking about centre halves, and we're bringing in this.
Go and sign him, mate. See if you're serious about wanting to try and win the league this year.
Just
go and sign John Souttar.
Aye, I would. Like,
13.5 million for hire. If it takes 8,
12. Take 12. Thanks.
See the thing is, Andy's obviously championed him for a long time on the show and said how well he is, because he trains him every day, and obviously he's only 24, 25, and he was big news back in his early part of career. Injuries have obviously played a part. People say, aye, but he's injury prone. Don't care. Every footballer has got that risk of being injured.
It's not like it's the niggles that he picks up, Kev. It's serious injuries that he's had.
Serious injuries. So for me, Starfelt's come in, or Starstruck, whatever his name is. He's come in, right, and wasn't the most convincing of debuts for me, but he's been chucked into the deep end, so gave him the benefit of the doubt. John Souttar's there. Like,
he's ready to play at that level, mate.
He's played at that level.
He comes in, you've no worries about him settling.
I just think that I don't know what it is. I don't know who is the recruitment for Celtic. I don't know, because they got rid of the guy, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I don't know who's doing that role, but there's even the other day I was just reading the news and I saw Gary Cahill's left Crystal Palace.
Take him for a
year. Yeah. Steady the ship. People might say he's 35, but what he's bringing at the age of 35.
I'm 33 and running the show every week.
That's an area of the pitch though in general where we are
I just think, like, I'm not saying go and get Gary Cahill. My point is that there's guys out there that could do a job now for Celtic to steady the ship, because the ship's slowly sinking in terms of position. They've not got a great deal of depth.
Still playing near Beaton at centre half in a 2. In a 3, that's fine, play Beaton it. In a 2 for Celtic near Beaton, you got to press high at the pitch, near Beaton can't play in a 2 centre. The fact that Stephen Welsh wasn't playing as well was a bit baffling for me.
I don't understand that, because he's played most of the games so
far.
And done well.
He's one that when the set piece does come in, he's usually the guy that will.
I think it's probably more a bit harsh on Starfelt as well.
To put him in.
To put him in
once or twice. I think he actually addressed that, didn't he, after the game. But see, the beauty of playing at the Old Firm is he's not going to get any leeway. There's not going to be Celtic fans that are going to say, game time, he only played 1 or 2 training sessions. He'll get judged on every single game he plays.
And I think
I thought it's harsh on him.
Sorry, Andy, I thought that the first goal came from his eagerness to try and do well. He made a mistake by not getting close the first time. Then by the time he's got back in the box, he's so desperate and hell-bent to get rid of the ball that it's ended up falling to Mackay-Steven. And I just think that had he got back and just been composed and to chuck somebody in there at the deep end, even the boy, the Japanese boy, was it the Japanese boy? I mean, he just flew over that morning or something on the night before. He came out of quarantine. his time in quarantine and then straight in on the bench and expected to come on with 15, 20 minutes to go and make a difference. That's where Celtic's at now, and that's the sad part.
Give Ralston a bit of credit, because he does get a lot of stick.
Aye,
that's what's all about being a Celtic player. You take stick and you go and do it again, and he's last 2 games, mate, he's been outstanding, Ralston, I thought.
Goal. Mate,
even taking the ball in their positions, mate, if that's new to you as a fullback, it's not easy.
I was going to say that, like...
Was it hard to play against Andy? Because I felt for you thinking, who the fuck's picking him
honestly,
up?
right, I generally thought Celtic were decent.
I thought they were on the ball, they were very good.
Probably for the amount of possession they had, I don't think they really troubled us that much. No. They probably never created as much as they'd like, considering the amount of possession they did have. But I think you can see what the manager's came in and he's trying to work on, especially in possession. You can see, we were talking about it before, rotations to stay in shape. You can see the rotations that they're doing to try and get on the ball. And it is hard to play against. And I do think, for the manager obviously found out at the end of the transfer window, bringing in more players and over time with players getting used to the system and whatnot, I think they'll be decent, but I think we just probably won the game on just hard work, to be honest, at the weekend.
So, the thing is, Celtic, like you said, 75% possession of the ball, or 79, whatever it was. It was just those final areas where the key passes or the movement wasn't quite right, or the desire to want to get in the box just let them down. And if you can bring in that 1 or 2 players that can maybe make the difference in those areas, then Celtic will actually be a decent enough side. I'm not here trying to criticise them and saying that they're done and are not going to challenge on it. They still will be there.
Yeah.
It's the opening day of the season. The manager's only come in a few months and there's a lot of work to be done. Sometimes for me, you know yourself, as you played in teams where that one player's come into your side, a new signing, and you're like, oh, he's a good player, and he's sparked the rest of everybody else into life. I feel that Celtic's maybe 1 or 2 signings away for sparking everybody else into a wee bit more confidence. I think they're not far away. But like Andy says, you played against them. The first thing you said, they were a good side, tough to beat, but hard work probably got Hearts a result. And to be fair, it was a decent set play.
I never seen the first half. I only watched the highlights of the first half, but second half I watched it. I was impressed. On the ball, I thought Celtic were really good. No. My only one criticism would be they fullbacks come in. It seems to let the wide players go wide and get the ball wide. So you're getting the ball wide and you're putting crosses in the box. Who's Celtic got as a penalty box striker?
There was a lot of times where
Edwards never near any of the crossings.
A lot of times the ball they'll try to play like through the middle as well, round the corners and 1-2s, and the French area was trying to do wee flicks round the corner and stuff, and they weren't coming off, and that's where you'd maybe just want to say, hold the ball in, lay it off and try and get a third man running, but it'll maybe come together.
See as a spectator as well, I'll be interested to see how that works against different teams and different formations.
Yeah.
Because they had a 6v2 overload in the middle of the pitch at the weekend. But it'll be interesting to see how that does work for we're doing a realising together this year, aren't we, big man?
Yes, we are.
So it'll be good for us to see a different
style.
See, to be fair, that's a sort of style of play at Man City deploy quite a lot of times with Pep Guardiola bringing in.
Because I've thought about doing, like when I took over a League One job, could you go and do that with your fullback? Because I really like it, like you say. If you want to dominate the ball, mate, and you've got a 6v2 in that middle of the pitch, it's very hard for the opposition.
I think it really, really depends on your wide players as well. Definitely.
Yeah. Would you say that going forward, teams that are going to play against Celtic would adopt the same style that Hearts did?
No, I doubt it. Listen,
yours was
I don't
effective.
know, but I'd imagine that we would. I'd imagine we would maybe tweak it a wee bit. Going to Parkhead in 2 weeks. If we go to Parkhead in 2 weeks,
in terms of what, pressing higher up the pitch, or
can you afford to go to Parkhead and gear that much an overload in midfield? I don't know, but at the same time, it's like I said, you sacrifice the overload in midfield to try and hurt them when you win the ball back.
So that leaves big gaps
that is what worked for us. So it's a catch-22. Do you know what I mean?
And the thing with
give a cat and mouse, mate.
The thing with sitting in and allowing Celtic to play, there will be like the last 2 minutes when they do the round the corner again, Jamesy in, that will come off more times than it won't. So it's an interesting start to the season.
We need to say, great to have Lee McCulloch's teeth back in the Premier League.
Aye, what a man. Legend.
Mate,
there is a Shetland pony sitting toothless somewhere in it. Poor fucking horse, man.
That's a shambles, isn't it?
He's just, I don't know if it's since he's had his teeth, but he's just constantly smiling, man. Like, when the Celtic scored on each and the cameras went to him, he's like that.
Mate, he slaughters,
raging, mate,
he slaughters me every day for my bar. No, I swear to God, I need to start giving him something back.
Hey, teeth, man.
Where's you think to go to him?
Fuck knows.
Told you, second-hand piano. 100%.
Oh, do you think that's what somebody's playing in while Robbie's doing the sacks?
Something like that with Jig's teeth.
Kev, I wanted to ask you about Edward. You're a centre forward. Is his time up at Celtic? The fans have been criticising him. I've seen it on social media.
Fans are criticising him, and rightly so, because the performance is at the level he set himself. But on the same argument, Celtic only playing at the level that was getting Eddie all the goals a couple of seasons ago.
So you're saying it's a certain style that you need to play to suit Edward?
Aye, and it shouldn't be, because he should be...
That's not what a top player is though, Kev,
no,
is it?
that's what I mean. A top player should be able to adapt.
Yeah.
And for me, he's got all the touches in the world, and he's great at the wee layoffs and the round the corners and what have you. But he can also go in behind. And sometimes I think, instead of coming square on all the time, why don't you stretch them? Try it, because he's no slow.
No.
And I think sometimes our Celtic creating...
Is that you taking your snooze at me and hiding it?
Huh?
He's getting Bobby Madden's gum shield.
A couple what?
Are Celtic creating enough chances for Eddie? For me, possibly not.
Eddie Howe?
Eddie Howe?
Right.
No.
Is that your thought of it?
No, I'm saying, are they creating enough chances for Eddie? Howe?
Edward?
So
I actually thought when he was involved in the game, I thought
his touch to Jamesy for the chance was very good.
Did a couple of sort of reverse passes in the first half as well.
It's like, sprint, big man, just sprint.
The last
Mate,
2 or 3
he's the type
games...
of player though, I've told you this 100 times. See if he played the exact same as Celtic won 5-0, nobody would be criticising him.
No, I know.
If Celtic lose, they will criticise Edward for not working hard enough. He's the type of, it's just that, it's that lackadaisical style, mate, that people will always say
but
that.
top players didn't hate lackadaisical style.
Did they not? Let me try and think of one that I've proved wrong.
No, maybe 5 years ago, but now if you want to play in a top team, mate, you need to work your balls off, man.
But my thinking would be with Edward is, if he is wanting away, you can't drop to that level of performance.
Nah, he's a one-off.
You can't drop to that level of performance and still think you're going to get a decent move.
Yeah.
Because if we look at, it's a bad comparison, but in Cham, when he was playing well, was nearly away for 13 million quid.
He's another one, mate. It's a good comparison.
He's left the club for nothing because his performance has dropped that dramatically. Nobody's interested, and the club weren't interested, and nobody's keen to sign him. If Edward goes that same route,
Kev, you could be the most talented player in the world, but see if you don't want to work hard now.
Simon, a year,
top managers
18 months ago, we're talking about going to Arsenal, Leicester, and now we're talking about going to Brighton, and Brighton's kind of quite their interest in. So it's only down to him. He's got to understand that if I get myself going again at Celtic, I'll get a move to the Premiership. But if he doesn't, he'll be back to France.
Where I will agree with you is I said this to you the other day. I think that the best, modern day football, off the ball is more important than on the ball.
Of course it is.
I think all the best teams in the world are unbelievable at possession.
Yes.
I think that's why Barca have sort of struggled the last sort of 3-4 years, because at possession they're not what they were under Pep. Everyone talks about how good Pep's Man City are. They kept the most clean sheets in the Premier League last year. So they're still unbelievable at possession.
Was it no
year before Liverpool hardly conceded a goal when Van Dijk, Trent, Robertson were off it.
That's it.
Was it no one of the sides the manager said that they had a certain time limit to get the ball back when they gave it away? It was like 3 seconds or something?
3 seconds. I have no, then you drop off.
Klopp. He calls it like heavy metal or something like that.
Last time we were in here, it was a Coopman show.
Yep.
Derek Ferguson farted in this cupboard, you ready?
No chance. Oh my days, how bad is that? They left it in one of Bruce's jars and all.
That's what. Open that, mate.
No.
This place will fall down if you open that.
It's even worse, man. There's one of Slaney's face marks down there. Mate. Covered in pus.
Where is that clown, man? I'm getting an Uber. He talks so much shite, and on way 26 minutes ago. What's this?
The jet left his wireless there or not?
By the way,
how old is that? You know, man.
Right, Joe Hart, Kev, James McCarthy, would they be good options?
I think the two of them would be good signings. I think they would add.
What we're saying, like, obviously they're no long-term signings, are they?
No, they're.
Is that what they need though, short-term fixes, or do you need to let Ange plan for the future? Do you give him 2 years?
I think what you need to do is you need to have the market. The now for me is Celtic need to sign 5 or 6 players, right? But they 5 or 6 need to come in and hit the ground running. So if you sign 5 or 6 tried and tested players who you've got some inkling you think they'll do all right straight away, so that is your Joe Hart's, your James McCarthy's, that's a short-term fix. But at the same time, you probably still got to buy 2 or 3 that are your long-term, because they can't do this year to year. I think maybe Rangers were guilty of doing that as well. in the early days with Cassini and Matt Warburton.
Could you sign these two boys for Sheffield Wednesday? They're look to be nowhere near
the team. So I'm a wee bit. I'll give the manager as much time as he's needed because I think he's been given a bad draw. But what's his knowledge of the European market? But he's managed in Australia.
But for the situation that Celtic are into, Andy, would
I agree with you 100%. But I do agree with you. But just expected results, aren't you? I compared it to, you mentioned Mark Warburton. No, Mark Warburton team we get promoted for the Championship. Realistically, we're going to win the league? No. But you're still getting criticised as soon as you lose a game and you fall 8 points behind, 9 points behind. I think it ends up whatever it ends up. So it's. You're Rangers and Celtic, mate, you're expected to win every week. And
I watched the game on the Sunday, and I don't know if you will agree, but Nisbet again for me, mate, was outstanding against Motherwell. I just £4 million in modern day football for a guy who for me is a standout. I
think he could play
involved in all 3 goals, mate. Anytime the ball goes in the box, you look like he's going to get on the end of it.
I think he could play up front with somebody. At Celtic, I think Celtic will still go a 2 up top.
I don't like the 10.
I know you don't, but see for Nisbet, he's great at getting into good positions with the ball on his feet. See the chance that I think he maybe
hits the post for Deutsch. He's brilliant.
He turned on the outside of his right foot and shot with his right foot. So what does that tell you?
Yeah,
like it was sharp in terms of getting his body round. Nah, for me, he's obviously in a rich vein of form. He's confident within himself. You go and get players like that.
Suter and Nisbet, there you go.
Aye. That'd be a start. That'd be a very good start. People might think, they're not big enough for Celtic, but see, this moment in time, they're better than what they have.
Yeah, okay. Well done, Andy, again.
I tell you what, Andy, that was a long
Just a start, mate.
Just a start. So did he have you off the next day or in?
Off Sunday, and then we're in the day.
Just watch your
back.
Up
to next week, St Mirren. We'll probably get to the St Mirren game, but I think St Mirren will be decent this year as well.
Yeah.
I said, mate, and I still stick by it. I think outside the Old Firm, I think the league will be very competitive.
Yeah, I agree. So, by the way, some great games at the weekend.
I watched them all. I watched all the highlights. I watched the full Rangers game.
Well, thanks very much for watching all the games, mate.
I just thought this year I'd make an effort.
Good man.
Who are we talking about next?
No, with your hair, obviously. You're not talking about your hair. What the fuck is happening with that, mate?
I'm going bald.
Don't take that, mate.
I'm going. Wait, Simon.
Look at his part.
I'm 40 years old, right? I've got 4 lovely boys and I've got a lovely wife. Who am I impressing with haircuts? I'm not at that stage where
it's by far.
He wasn't saying that.
He's getting the worst haircut out of the 3s. 100%.
Andy, he's took.
Told you, mate. Start the season. What do you got to war in it? This is what I did to start the season. Set my fucking...
but why somebody shot your fringe off then? Because it's just unacceptable.
No fringe, no lips.
I feel like he's went in and said to the boy, he's a number 1 all over, and he stopped him halfway through it.
I got a 6 at first.
In his forehead.
I got a 6, mate, and it was so fluffy, and I said, nah, mate, you're going to need to take this.
Somebody blew my wing back.
No, it look better if you've got like a wee line zipped in or something. Just to take the edge off how straight that fringe is.
Terrible. I need to say to you, I'm glad that somebody's joined that I can use the patter. Your man for Everton, next more boys than an electric shaver.
Aye, you can use that really, really well.
Good player, mate, looks. Used to compliment each other.
To be fair, I know, like we mentioned about obviously Starfelt.
Because we're doing it to give Hearts credit as well on the show.
Is that the number 8? Was he the number 8?
6.
No.
6. Very good.
We mentioned Starfelt, obviously needs a bit of time. He's only taken 1 or 2 sessions. Benny only taken 1 or 2 sessions. So I was shocked. I'm not saying I was shocked because I wasn't expecting him to be a good player or anything like that, but for 1 or 2 sessions, we've been working for 6 weeks on how we want to play this year. We worked on all week how we're going to play against Celtic. For him to just come in, train one day and then play like that, I thought he was man of the match. I thought he was the best player on the pitch.
So why do you think he played? Did he impress that much in the one day, or was he always going to? What do you think it was just he was going to play?
Listen, he's trained 1 or 2 days, but Hearts have done plenty of research and known what type of player they're going to get. I think they've actually been chasing him for a couple of weeks. So
he's never done that, signed for a club, trained the day and played.
Blackpool. My Fergie signed on the Friday morning, played the Friday night, scored. Sorry. 1 each, swear to God.
And what did he say when you signed? By the way, you're playing the night? You see when you sign, you're always, you don't want to play that. You want to just chill out a night off.
Me and Goody signed the same day, Friday morning, both of us played.
So you drove down to Blackpool for Glasgow, met Fergie?
No, Middlesbrough. Met him at the hotel, like that's basically connected to the stadium. I think he bought me a fucking tub of snus and a pint. And then, by the way, you were both playing the night. Like, fucking hell.
Devastating.
It was Doncaster, we were in the relegation zone at the time. Doncaster were a point above. I scored with 10 minutes ago, he puts 1-0 up. Like, what's a debut?
That's a debut,
You see it in the 90th minute.
I done it twice. Signed for Coventry.
Where did you sign? Like in a? So was it like a hotel restaurant or a hotel cafe?
I can't mind where it was. Signed for them the Thursday, trained the Friday, straight up to Hull, beat them 1-0 on the Saturday, then Kilmarnock. Signed with the Kilmarnock on the Friday morning, straight up to the science parks to train. And Jim was actually in the hospital, and Billy says, "Oh, you're playing them on?" I says, "Superb." And it was St Mirren's opening day of the season at our new stadium, and I felt confident. It was great.
Right, what's this, Paul? Let's go. Oh, Saints on a turn now. Oh, he's just a star. Oh, he always gets his end away.
That's why you were late, wasn't it, big man? Getting your end away.
Yeah, come in.
If you were messaging my sister, you'd be fucking desperate.
Give me snooze, Paul.
What have you been doing, Paul? Explain. You're on camera, mate.
I had a camp today. Went home, 4 o'clock, dozed off. I was getting off your hip, bro.
Do you like it, mate? They've been slaughtering it.
What was it?
They've
Straight
been-
red card.
He's an animal, isn't he?
Disgusting.
A bit of an animal, he is, Andrew. It was naughty, wasn't it, Paul?
Shocking. Straight red.
Never seen that side of him.
So what's been, have you missed the Celtic ball together?
You missed it, mate.
We'll go back to it.
Well,
Forget it.
anything you want to add to it, just have a wee read over the topics if there's anything that you think you want to say.
Flip it me, won't you?
Come closer, boys. Social
Flip-
distance
flip.
is done.
Is that done?
Flip
Aye,
the
flip
sheet
over.
for a start.
Right, Paul, we've covered the Celtic stuff, but if there's...
We absolutely must go back to it though.
Right, well,
For
just
5
give,
minutes.
why don't
Use
you
a
just give us a
5
wee
minute
rundown on your thoughts?
No problem. Listen, as I said earlier, Kevin Paul, the producer, missed it. Shoot the card for the start.
What?
Shoot the card. Disgusting. Sit beside an animal again.
Are you a bit wary that he could attack you?
Don't like it.
Uh-huh.
And the message in the group chat after it, meant it, he said.
He's horrible, isn't he?
No, listen, what did you say about the challenge?
No, we just want you to tell us.
What's your?
I said there was
booking?
there was no malice intent.
I know
I
exactly.
said it as a booking though.
See if that player saved.
It's a ginger card, isn't it? In between a yellow and a red.
What it is up there, use your savvy, stop the break.
Aye.
Innit? That's what I think.
That's what I think as well. And there's no.
That's what Marsh should have done to Craig Gordon.
Yeah.
Stop the break. 147. Ended up getting on. He never stopped the break. McLaren ended up getting 147.
Continued, innit?
What happened? Marcia had to sit down and watch him for an hour.
Exactly.
Well, he
You
just
wouldn't have
cleaned
done
up.
that, Andy.
No.
Way.
I've got to mention this, right? You know, me and Paul, we get a wee bit tasty at this time of year, don't we? When certain games come up, he messages me saying good luck. Saturday afternoon.
He'll be asking to get that to innit?
Didn't you? Be honest, I thought it was nice, mate.
That's me.
Do you not lose your phone all weekend?
Wasn't me done that. No, I said,
Never fucking text me good luck.
I text you after it, didn't I?
But what? No, before
I
it?
meant to text because he's SPFL, innit? Well, I said, I always say, no matter what team you support, my boys come first, no matter who you're playing against.
Those before.
My boys come first. So.
Right, so you get us be rundown of the game, what you think?
Same old shite, mate, innit? Same old absolute nonsense. He's sleeping on that board.
They wouldn't have got to sleep in your bedroom this weekend, so would they?
No.
That's where they need to go to liven themselves up, innit?
We talk about a transition. I don't care if you want to suck up to the fans. I don't care. Say whatever you want about we're going to be a world class, whatever it was. Produce on the pitch, and it doesn't matter if.
But did they not produce so, Paul? See, in terms of what he's wanted in the style he wants to, they dominated the game now.
No, 100%, mate. But it's the everybody knew, regardless if every staff member left Celtic and there was a cleaner and a chef left, right. Just say that they would have known what you had to bring in. Goalkeeper, centre half. We knew Duffy was leaving. We knew Aya was leaving. We knew Gillian was injured. So this isn't rocket science. But you're not giving yourself a chance.
Good point.
You're just not giving yourself, and I do feel for the manager because. But one day I ask you, Andy, is it hard to? I kept seeing like Ralston and Taylor coming in there, like, and I was thinking, see if you're saying, how the fuck you meant?
We've already spoke about
I
it.
spoke about it. I think it's about like so. I'll tell you what we said. So we knew we were going to gear up and overload in the middle of the pitch, but our thinking was that we wanted to still a back five to win it, or us to try and win it, and then leave the three up the pitch to sort of isolate Celtic's two centre halves and try and get down the wide areas. And I think that's what the first goal.
But again, when you come back to Pot, if you are going to play like that, you can't play near beat on at centre back.
Nah.
Because teams are going to want to turn you down the side, and you need pace and Stephen Welsh needs to play.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't know how they had Peter anywhere near it. Nowhere near it.
Right, we're on to Rangers.
Good to see you, mate.
Aye,
I
good to
thought
see
you
you.
were chatting it.
I could see that way, mate. How much you get to fear when you wake up. That's the worst feeling.
Depends
mate,
what you've been doing the night before.
or the year before.
How come you've got golf gear on?
I was golfing, Simon.
Who with?
I had a match today.
How'd you get on?
I was 2 up with 3 to play.
You got beat.
Fucking
Oh,
I blew
shut
it. Man.
it.
I blew it. Fucking lost. I'm blaming Alan Ruff. He was
Alan Ruff?
He was holding me up. Slow play.
Oh, really?
Worst fucking golf I've ever seen. Put that out there already. Hope he watches. Now I
Bad,
was 2 up, 3 to play. The boy was stroking on the 17th and 18th.
No way
In
was
the
he
muff?
stroking on the 17th.
16th,
That's a disgrace.
16th and 18th he got a stroke. So
Disgusting, mate.
Heavy stroke in the muff.
What a disgrace.
Having a stroke on the 17th hole.
so
In public.
He'll be
it
banned.
was tough.
What muff?
Three potted the last.
Oh, you never.
Shite, aye.
Kevin.
Don't want to talk about it. It's touchy. That was a quarter final.
That's it, mate. Right, Rangers. Do you see an opportunity already to get a wee gap early doors, Andrew, after their convincing win at Livingston?
Well, they've got a gap after the first game week, but I think it will just be the sort of same mentality as they had last year.
Game by game, that will done.
Game by game. Rangers were unbelievable the first 15-20 minutes, and then they were bang average for the next sort of 50.
And what was it
55.
still going to break Livingston down?
No, Gerrard came out and said after the game he felt that they were taking too many unnecessary touches, the tempo was too slow after they went 1-0, and that's what I'll say about the first 20 minutes. They were electric. Like, it was just 100 mile an hour, chance after chance, press and win the ball back,
But
driving
Martindale
forward,
put the
playing
Gucci's on
forward.
after 20s.
Put the Gucci's on, put the Balenciagas because they're sturdy in the middle of the pitch to
Thanks.
shore it up, and ended up just compact as anything after that. But
Your mate Nicky
Still
Devlin on
1-3
the
now.
bench as well.
Aye. Come back and then he kicked. Was it Bassey?
Did he?
Seen that.
Bassey was really good. Really good.
You're better than but
I thought Rangers were when they got that early goal, I actually feared for Livy. I thought this could be
Fair done.
it could be like 5, 6, 7 the way Rangers were playing. But then I feel like when Hadji went off, that's when the tempo kind of died down a wee bit. He got a bad knock. He should be all right, but no, the Rangers.
Criminal to lose a goal like that. Your first goal.
No,
against
I'll be
Rangers.
disappointed. Aye.
Somebody
He's-
standing on their own at the back post. That can't happen.
The defending was shocking. Like, there's no way to describe it. It was shocking defending. The fact that he was able to bring that down and then sent the boy that should have been
Black
marking him a fucking dummy, and a good finish with his right foot, to be fair.
1 game, 2 assists for Tav already.
was it 2 assists?
Mental. 2 assists at the weekend. But what did we say earlier? The best teams are unbelievable at possession. Livy had 1 shot and it was a half.
That's
It was
what
a
Rangers have
ton
been
for
miles
25
better than
yards.
Celtic.
It was a ton for 25 yards and dragged it about 15 yards wide.
Livy had
Just
two
like, out of possession is
2 touches in the Rangers box in the first 45 minutes. 2 touches.
What we're talking about Rangers. See when they lose the ball, mate, they just hunt to get it back quick. I just see when I see Edward, you can't get that with Edward.
No.
He doesn't hunt to win the ball back when you lose it, and that's what lets teams put a couple of passes together and turn you down the sides. Whereas Rangers don't let you do that, they camp you into your half. And they force you into mistakes, and you're constantly penned in. And that's the
Rangers-
worst when you go away to Celtic and Rangers.
the only person in the league that had less touches than me at the weekend was Bruce Anderson. Because he had that shift and a half.
Was he up there on his own?
Oh, up there on his own, and
Feeding off shit.
they just.
Feed off shit. That's what you do on this podcast, isn't it? We feed you shite and you
I just love it.
bring goals.
Aye, but I fear for Livy. I think they could go down.
uh-huh.
I really do. I don't see where they're getting goals for.
Bruce Anderson.
Aye, but as you said, like it's not going to be like every game, but I don't know.
I need to say, you were Zara last week. This week, I've noticed it.
Madame Paris.
Not from Paris. 75 quid in any good retailer. Going up in the world, Paul.
Cruise.
They actually are looking really well.
Are you
isn't
high
he?
shopping in
He's got
Cruise now?
It looks buoyant.
And the hair looks better and everything that.
Aye.
He's
Full of confidence
honestly,
about it.
it's amazing what that pay packet's done for
Aye.
him after the Euros.
It's mad what happens when you put 500 quid in somebody's account, isn't it?
He's even got a new pair of sneakers on. They're pure white. Look at them, green.
Stand up and let us see the fall.
Look at him.
What's the shorts?
Pink Nikes,
Nikes.
sorted.
Why Nike?
This guy seriously got to stop.
Why do you wear the pink shorts?
It brings the tan out, doesn't it? Enough for me now.
Okay.
That's me.
But again, Kev, you look at the subs that Rangers could bring in their squad and their depth. You bring in on Roof, right.
Right.
Lundstrom coming on off the
Right's
bench.
a good player.
Yeah, Right's a
I
very
like
good
him. He was a very good signing.
And And that's what I'm saying to Kev, when people say you need to go and sign big players for big money. There's good players in Scotland.
The good players in Scotland that know how to play the league.
Play the league, exactly.
They play the league even better at the better sides.
Yeah.
It's a fact. Celtic and Rangers have done that for years, and I think Celtic's been slow at the blocks to grab the best players in this league, because if you would go back to 12, 13 years ago when Hibs had Bruni and Celtic took Bruni, they took Gary Caldwell, guys that did a job for Celtic, not a problem. And now Rangers they've obviously, I don't know how, they've only picked up the boy right, but one's enough, because he's him coming on as a sub. Yeah, cracking player.
See if you have a style of play and you know the way you play, then it's easier to sign players for that.
To suit that style.
Whereas Celtic were signing him last year because they didn't have a style of play. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And, listen, there might be a brilliant player out there, right? Maybe he might score lots of goals or whatever, but if he doesn't fit into the way Rangers play, they'll not sign him. No. Do you know what I mean? So I think, but I suppose the Celtic manager has got this style, so he will sign players, I imagine, that fit that style. So
I wanted to ask you, obviously midfielder that's played for Rangers, because there's so many players now. Midfield's obviously the area I look at. What's Rangers' best midfield three? It's a tough one. A good question. Davis needs to play.
Devo was my man of the match.
How good again, mate? Davis. But
that's a big
see, when
question,
you give a guy like Steve Davis so much time on the ball, I don't understand why people love it, man. He could just pick you off at will.
I know it's a hard one though, but I think because
I can't answer that. I could not answer that.
You need to get somebody tight to Davis, man.
You know I'm a big Ryan Jack fan as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Rangers have got so much strength and depth.
Glenn Kamara for me's got to play. Got to.
Is that for his energy?
Glenn Kamara? He's quality on the ball. And his energy off the ball.
I always think he's brilliant off the ball, Glenn
Kamara. Dave's got to play. But like, Joe Aribo, Ryan Jack, I still think Scott Arfield at them all is probably the one that's got something different where they can arrive late into the box, score goals, box to box. John Lundstrom's just came in.
He looks good, man.
Played in the
What
Premier
about
League.
him getting a saxophone tattoo on his arse?
Embarrassing.
Keeps asking Robbie to play it.
He's into that, isn't he?
Apparently. I don't know how he knows.
Has he played in the dressing room after the game, like celebrating? Imagine he just got fucking carried away and whipped it out of his bag.
Told you, mate. He's level-headed. It's just a start.
It's just a relaxed.
Play at the end of the season if we win something.
The Sax, love it.
But I can't answer that, mate.
What you got? Who you saying? Anyone? Davis.
To be fair,
Lundstrom,
they've just got, it doesn't matter out of how, maybe 6 or 7 that they've got. Any three. The thing with Rangers, they're in a position now there when one player goes out, that player that's coming in knows exactly his job, what his role is. If he doesn't follow that to what he's been asked, he'll not be back in the team.
And it's an almost like for like.
Aye, and it is. It's like you're bringing on players, like taking off, what do you call him, the boy up front, what's his name? Sakala.
You were close there.
Aye, he did all right, by the way, but you bring on Roof, he gets a goal. It's just, they're in a groove, and I think it's inevitable in there.
Okay. Anything else on Livy?
I actually thought they did all right for 50 minutes in terms of
been hard to beat.
Just been hard to beat. They couldn't create it, and Rangers were just comfortable as anything. But
I spoke to a good pro who's right in his coaching and management, and he said if he went to Celtic Park or Ibrox, he'd press it to them.
Aye, good luck.
I don't think you can do that. I think.
Well, but
everyone says that, mate. Everyone's a coach outside a football.
Would you go and press?
I would.
Let him.
I'd rather get beat pressing up the pitch. Why not try and get the ball off them up there than back there? Then you've got to try and play through.
Dundee United went to Ibrox last year and pressed. Done well. They got pumped.
But I would rather
Done well. They got pumped.
First 20 minutes they had 3 chances. If you take one of them, it's a different game. Then you can go and sit in.
And then go beat 5-1.
I know, but there's more chance of them winning that game playing like that and sitting in.
Was there any other team that went to?
That's what I would do.
By the way,
just waiting to get beat.
How many teams took points off Celtic last year at Parkhead? Not one of them pressed, by the way. Not one.
No, because that's because Celtic had Celtic, what you have just seen at the weekend, Celtic have got that where they will bring it and you can hit them on the counter-attack. But I'm talking about Rangers. I was going to press
them. But people that aren't in the game will say Celtic's back fours are weakest. Get after them. That's the consensus.
No, I get what you're saying with Celtic because their vulnerability is losing the ball in the middle of the pitch and hitting them on the counter-attack. And I'm saying against Rangers, I would go and try and stop them getting the ball. As soon as you get the ball to Steve Davis, mate, and let him he's going to pick you off eventually.
But mate, that's what I've said about Rangers are better at for last year's. See if people do come and press. Connor
just hit over the top of them. I know, but I'm just saying, I would rather get beat.
Going for it,
trying.
These teams, they're going to Parkhead and Ibrox, no expecting anything anyway. So go there trying.
Yeah.
The closest a team came to taking points off Rangers at Ibrox last year was Motherwell. And it was because they literally had the full of Wishaw in the box. They went 1-0 up, they're trying to hang on for dear life and they nearly got a point at it, or 3 points, because I think it was 1 each with 10 minutes to go. People need to do what they're best at and what they're suited at to win points. It's like people say, see if Motherwell got a point in that game, people come out, disgusting style of play, typical Scottish football, got hundreds of bodies in the box, just to, mate, sometimes that's what you need to do. Yeah. You're playing against a team that's much better than you with 10 times your budget.
But the best performance against Rangers last year was Celtic at Ibrox, who went and pressed them high up the pitch.
The game where they had,
I know they got beat 1-0.
3 chances in the first 20 minutes and didn't have another chance.
But I'm saying if you take one of the chances, you get one other team gets 3 chances in the first 20 minutes sitting off.
So experts and maybes, mate.
But I'm just saying
if you had boys.
That's what I would do. I would go and press out the pitch.
Listen, that's the beauty of football, mate. Exactly. It's a matter of opinions, but for me, if Livy go and press
I look at
Rangers,
Dundee United yesterday, mate. Sitting off Aberdeen. Why? You beat them 3-0 last year in the cup, pressing them high up the pitch. What are you sitting off them for?
I tell you what. If a prayer can be answered this year, it's please can Peterhead go to Ibrox, because I can't wait to see Peterhead pressing Rangers to the front this year.
I would love it. Imagine it was 10 or something. I just need to cut the
Why did you
podcast.
not press us? You didn't press Hearts at him.
We did press shoes.
Did you? Was that your press?
No, we went and stood on Suter and Kingsley and let Halkett have it.
Some press, that.
Right, how's Motherwell? What a game. I'll again hold my hands up when you get it wrong. Motherwell, no good. I said they'd struggle, but on that performance, Motherwell have got more than Dundee
Decent
United.
side, eh?
Van Nistelrooy up front was different pass by.
Decent, wasn't he, man? He only scored 1 goal for Scunthorpe last year.
Aye.
Mate, apparently Scunthorpe turned down a £4 million bid for him for a Chinese team. I'm not joking. Google it.
What, after 1 goal?
No, so he had 2 stints at Scunthorpe.
Right.
The first time he was apparently banging him in for fun. And somebody else signed him in England, but Dutch, aye.
One of your boys?
$4 million.
One of your boys, did you see him?
Talking about the pitch, great surface for him.
Oh, he's now playing on your pitch. Aye, good connection.
Hibs
looked really good though, Kevin. And
Second half, I thought they were really good. First half was a brilliant game. Both teams were good.
Hammer and Tom.
Second half, Hibs dominated, to be fair, but Motherwell's chance to make it 3-2 and the boy goes 1-1 and a goal. Go ahead, take it round him now.
Aye, I would agree with you.
Take it round him, man.
Who was that?
The old scoop drag.
He tried to
pass, wasn't it, with the guy?
He's running that way and he's tried to pass it in with his right foot. He's got to just go right, left, quickly.
Yeah. Scoop drag, but brilliant game.
I think Hibs have sealed 3rd place already.
McGuinness, I think this would be a good year for McGuinness.
Did he get? See when he left Sitman on?
I think he was injured for a bit at Sitman when he actually signed for him. Yeah, I think he'll be good, mate.
Sorry, boys. Just getting a wee seat there.
Can you show everyone that seat, please?
No, we'll show them.
Why don't you sit on the table? That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Go and sit on the table, Kev. Get the boys.
I think Hibs have sealed 3rd place.
Aye, Hibs are good.
Aberdeen impressive yesterday, too.
They've got a good squad, haven't they?
Yeah.
I tell you what, Aberdeen.
Good signings, mate.
Experience as well, mate.
Two young fullbacks look very good as well.
Who was the boy in the right side?
Very good.
Who was the one?
Fair play to Stephen Glass as well. I've not seen these boys. A minute of these boys and he's put them in for the start. Look really good.
Boy Ramsey, really good. Great turning cross for the first goal.
Again, what I'm talking about in a back 3-4, says to Charlie on Monday. See when Reynolds and Edwards get dragged wide, second goal, Reynolds doesn't know what to be defending them. Yeah. He's not comfortable there. He wants to defend his 18-yard box.
What were you saying?
I wouldn't play for you.
Right.
How good was Charlie at fixing his hair?
It's constant,
Every 5 minutes,
constant,
slicking it back.
He was found a bit wanting for the first goal, Charlie.
But again, it was fair a full team perspective though, Kev.
Aye.
Aberdeen put 3 passes together under no pressure. You need to drop. Don't you need to try to play a high line with no pressure on the ball?
You would look at the Aberdeen pass, watch that goal again and think, oh, what a great goal! But the passing was so simple. It was just like up, back, round the corner, and was Lewis Ferguson played it in
to Hayes. And
to be fair to Charlie's obviously trying to play offside. The boy maybe behind Charlie, had he come up with Charlie, I think
would have played him off.
I maybe would have got off, but he's took a gamble and.
But it was times Shankman's pressing the goalie, mate, and there's nobody pressing up behind them. They're
why are you pressing goalies?
Who presses goalies, mate? Remember, he said that on a night out. You ever see a centre midfielder pressing a goalie?
Did I say that?
I did.
Record Factory. When you had your Steven Gerrard jacket on.
I can remember that.
You were doing it in a Liverpool accent, which was fucking strange, wasn't it?
I can remember that night right enough.
You did, didn't you? You pressed for the start, didn't you?
Aye.
What was that, just a rush of blood?
I carried away, mate.
Going for the fans, innit?
Carried away. For
right, Doig's away for Hibs. Josh Doig supposedly going to Watford or Burnley. Good move for him, that. Deserves it, the kid.
That's Celtic,
Good on him.
man.
Yeah, again, I would agree, mate. £4 million.
Just do it. Tempt the boy. I don't know.
How would you tempt him?
You send Danny, didn't you?
McGregor?
Didn't you? Full back.
With rubber chicken?
Yeah. No, listen, the boys was in my team of the year last year. That's
Madness.
Your captain, wasn't he?
Madness.
listen, well deserved. And I think no, listen, I don't know. Listen, brilliant for the boy, innit?
No, listen, fair play to him.
Yeah.
He did do well last year, done really well. This is no slight on him whatsoever because it's not his fault, but it's mad that he's no played in front of one fan in professional football and he's getting a £4 million move. But it's off the back of obviously playing really well.
Do you think you can't judge?
No!
Teams that win?
Don't put words in my mouth, Paul. But it is mad to think that, innit? It's just...
No.
Just the way
played 40 games now and...
The world's been with the
Something
COVID
like
and stuff. He's...
Mate, I can't take you serious on that, man.
Oh, to be fair, I couldn't give a fuck a day.
It's like visiting your granda, innit?
I know.
Sitting in the corner with a cigar and a whiskey.
£4 million, like Celtic probably
Good
could have got him last season, probably for a wee bit less than that. I think maybe 2.5-3 million last year. Had they planted that bid, probably could have got
What,
him.
in January or something?
Aye, but again, wait. What are you doing there and play at Burnley? It's up to him now.
Good. So you've made the move down to a big Premiership club. Your speech, when Scotland played was brilliant. Give the young man a wee bit.
Is he watching it?
Josh, just go down there, son, and enjoy yourself.
No, I wouldn't.
no.
Any top dicker Harry can say that.
He's got to go down there and enjoy
He'll be
yourself.
scared now, won't
He will.
He'll be through a horrible time.
There'll be loads
a great time.
You've had the thoughts when you were getting your big move.
Big
We'll get the flip side for you, Paul. If you were going to give him any advice after a big move,
exactly by you.
If you would recommend him to go somewhere, where would it be?
stay in your his ma's bedroom, same as you.
First flight out?
Just stay in your ma's bedroom.
Second
for the
flight
rest of your
out.
life.
Second flight.
What's happening in your new flat, bro?
Yeah.
Or are you still with the
In the
man?
West End now.
What's the rent now?
Fuck. 5 now.
Right, so dogs away.
I'll get you some of my Barnet for you, mate, right?
Him slagging your band at the end, innit? I need to just walk off a
Decent
fucking podcast. Right, who can replace him? We'll just put Stevenson in.
Callahan.
Ross Callahan.
I don't know. Look,
Tell
Lewis
me, they
Stevenson-
boys from
Lewis
Aberdeen
Stevenson,
looked very
no,
good yesterday. I was very
Who are these
impressed.
guys?
Who?
Mackenzie plays left back,
Aye.
Ramsey plays right back, mate. They were
I don't
very
think the boy
good.
Mackenzie's played as well. I don't think he played the two European. I think it was the boy Ojo was playing.
Ojo
and then
played midfield,
Hedges was
mate,
in
right?
midfield. But aye, both of them did really well.
No, Aberdeen. look-
Brave, mate. What the ball at the time, loved that. But Patoda's quite an intimidating place for a young kid. Took it all
Tell
the
that
time.
story.
What story?
Crying it when you were crying at
300.
Patoda.
No.
No.
I've told you I'm not taking that for another 5 years.
Aye.
No, tell
Tell-
the one about Ibiza, Jonathan Windia.
No.
Tell him Barry Bannon.
Barry Van again. Fuck yeah, no. I will never tell any
No,
of
you're
these
not,
stories
please.
again.
Tell the Buddha man.
No, Andy Williams. Tell Andy Williams, mate.
Remember the fear he had?
Slowly,
Oh, mate.
tell us what you were saying to your ma.
Bad.
How is she this week?
Good, bro.
She missing the live shows now?
Nah.
Past
You's missing them.
I hate it, mate. I've had a pure come down since it. I hate
Have
it.
you?
I've not recovered since it. It's pure flat. We don't speak to none of us speak to each other.
I know.
Don't we? No, we actually hate each other when it goes off, don't we? Seriously, we do.
He said
don't
mates
hate
for
you.
life and all that. I didn't really give it that part of mates for life. and-
When are you getting your tattoos?
Scotland
I'm in
didn't go
next
through,
Sunday.
mate.
I'm in next Sunday.
Are you? What are you getting up and gold in your arse?
Scotland didn't go through, mate. If they did,
Saxophone.
I'd go, right?
Saxophones.
A fringe he's getting.
I finished that again.
Tattoo.
Right, Jason Cummins. What a boy.
Change the subject right here, didn't he?
Jason Cummins, you know what I love? Gives a penalty, could easily go
What
under.
penalty?
It's not a penalty, I agree. Could
Embarrassing.
easily go under. Bit of character, a bit of ball comes in, could easily just take that.
Convince him, innit?
Like it.
It's a striker's finish, that.
Yeah, it is.
Good
Great
on
fin- Mate, great. And I will say, although he's been red carded, I'm telling you now, Max Anderson will be a player for Dundee. I've played against him before. He's like a fucking racehorse. Reminds me a bit of Stuart Armstrong.
Right.
Dundee, 20-year-old. Like it as well, James McPake put Finlay Robertson, 17-year-old. First game at SPL, easy to go. He's put 2 kids in who done really well.
Did they, aye? Brilliant.
Watch out, Max Anderson. I'm telling you, going to be good.
Buzzing
That's my
for Cumdog, but and I think, which is obviously shit because Danny Mullen, I think apparently he's done his ankle or something like that. I think it's my sources are telling me it's no great.
Right.
So unfortunate for him, but obviously Cumdog will benefit for that. We're getting a run in the team, and he's one of the players, man. If he plays, you fancy him to score. But I think they go to Celtic away next week, so
important to
it's
get a
tough
point in
ask
your
for him.
first game when you're going to be at Celtic in your second, isn't it?
Aye, definitely. Aye, so they'll be wanting to try and take as many points as they can at home against obviously St Mirren, who had a decent year last year. Unlucky not to miss it in top 6. Sorry, but then we've got St Mirren next week, so we know it'll be tough. I think Eamon Brophy and Curtis Bain, they both scored goals in this league.
They look a handful, mate. They two together.
Going forward, St Mirren look alright, but see defensively they're a wee bit shaky for me.
I think McCarthy might be going, Kev. I think he's a big miss. He was good for them last year.
I felt watching the highlights. Anytime the ball come in the box for a corner, you've got guys like Charlie Adam winning headers.
Yeah.
Mate,
Dundee are very good at set pieces.
Dundee are unbelievable at set pieces.
I can understand that if they're 6'3" centre halves are coming up the head in it, but when you've got Charlie Adam, who is what, 5'8", 5'9".
He never headed that, did he?
No, but he had one before that. I felt had he got a...
No, Charlie's not 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah, he's bigger than that.
He's bigger than me.
I'm 5'10".
I'm 6'2".
Charlie's...
You're not 5'10". Fucking
5'10". You used to be 5'4", now you're 5'2".
I'm getting fucking slaughtered this, aren't I?
It's a bit
It's been a
time.
bad one for you today, isn't it?
I don't know how you stay every week when you slaughter. I don't know how you can take it.
Disgusting, isn't it?
Just after that, a good one, I know.
Andy, he'll send a text later on the night, won't he?
Sit
I
down.
didn't think you were going to mention it, mate, but I think...
Wow, for your experience in the world, you've just popped up, haven't you? 2-0. Get back to the division.
Be honest, what did you say to him after
We never
the
spoke.
No?
No.
Was he a
We didn't work, mate. You know that to be pals, do you know what I mean?
bad loser?
Time to work, time to play. That was
Get an
great.
half
Was he a
go
bad
radio.
loser, Simon?
No, not at all.
Shite like.
By the way, brilliant win though.
Good win for us.
Aye.
Good win for us.
They were favourites as well.
How was my boy Hamish?
Oh, mate, joy to watch. Mate, I'm telling you now, he does things that I've not seen players when I played in League One down south can do. 100% can play Premier League in Scotland. There you go.
Why isn't he taking
Would you call a guy
He
with one leg?
was in America, mate, till he was 22. What is it?
Would you call a guy with one leg in
Hamish,
this one leg out? Shite on it.
He's in America till he's 22, mate, but this kid's going to... There's another one. Tip for the top.
How did you go about it? Did you press?
Pressed him high, mate.
Did you?
Pressed him high, yeah.
Did you? Is that because who it was, or was
I
it?
don't know what game, mate. We're going to a big game against Falkirk, so I'm not want to tell you exactly.
I know you're right.
What's the game?
Massive game.
So when he's playing Falkirk?
We play Falkirk at Falkirk, mate.
When?
Saturday.
Tell Paul what
It's
you
a tough
said
start to
there.
the season, mate. I think we played Alloa, Falkirk and Montrose, who were on the playoffs last year.
So
So
I might go to that one Saturday.
they fearful, mate.
That's what I was saying about our start. Celtic at home, St Mirren away, Aberdeen at home, Dundee United away, Hibs at home. First 5.
There's nothing worse than a
You know
bad
it is
start, is
after
there?
that.
I think
You're
that's
constantly thinking we're fucked.
We're done.
That's
Where's
a
the
good
first 3
start, I
points
think.
coming through?
Think so?
And that's the games you win. I think that you've got the 3
Aye, well,
points
listen,
against
you're going to
Celtic.
play everyone, but
You're
it's a tough
fancying your
start.
chances to get 3 points off St Mirren, and then you've got obviously Celtic. The third game will take care of itself, and then you've got a Hibs, a Derby.
Celtic at
They're the ones you
Parkhead
love for me,
next
innit?
week.
It'll be interesting to see how the derbies go this year, because obviously Hibs are flying.
Two good
Hearts
teams
are-
going at it, mate.
Aye.
Mate, see, honestly, see the Scottish League, I genuinely think it's the best league to watch. Someone just saying.
Brilliant, mate.
Aye.
That's what we were saying. Games this weekend will be
Yeah.
brilliant, mate.
See, watching that Premier League, and not just the Premier League, see even some of the Euros games, mate, it's a bore fest. And
Yep.
that's when I think tactics is important, mate, but sometimes I think it's overkill now. Like, one team gets it, it's like, moving or shaping or that. Listen, that is a game, but watching the Hibs and Motherwell, mate, you could sit and watch it all day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's no...
Did you watch it?
No. Didn't actually.
Motherwell and Hibs was a great advert for
Yeah,
it.
It was a
It
brilliant game.
was. Big congratulations to Stephen O'Donnell, who's the captain of Motherwell this year as well.
Nah, not for me.
Right, just what I wanted to ask you is, Max Anderson, is it a red card for you?
Yes.
You know watching it?
Let's see it.
Aye.
It's definitely a red card. I
Or
think it's
based
just
on what, just
because
the malice it?
because his intent was teeth were fucking gritted, man. He's chasing him down the car, and he wanted to. I think had he tried to do what Andy
Chase
did,
him down like a what, sorry?
I'm not going to say it. Had he tried to just trip him up, fair enough, but he's actually leathered him. He's actually just volleyed him in the side of the legs and thought, didn't you go? And then he's got the cheek to fucking stand up and look shocked at a red card. But
Brilliant, but honestly, mate, the standard that teams now that in Scotland's brilliant. Well, as I remember I said last year, I think it was shite.
He didn't want to be
Associated with it.
associated with it.
But it's changed now. It's very, very good, to be fair.
But
That's Stevie
with
Phil.
the old firm, I think it will be really competitive this year. You're going to see every team take points off each other, but like I said, I think a lot of teams have improved.
And that's where I think with Livingston and Dundee United, you're not going to get a game where you can guarantee 3 points. Can you?
Aye.
Jim Goodwin looked great Saturday. Did you see him?
Mate,
He's better.
he goes to a good barber.
He's very.
I'll get his number.
What would you do if you had 5 minutes with him?
Jim.
You don't like each other, didn't you?
No.
Punch him, is it?
Nah, Jim's actually a great guy. Jim stays in the corner for me.
Mate, the standard of manager
Aye, no.
is very, very good now in Scotland, isn't it?
Who do you like?
Jack Ross. I like him, and I think watching a Hibs team play, I don't think they've got a real style of play, but sometimes, listen, do you need that? But I don't know.
I would say.
I think it's important you did, to be fair, but I think he's good though, but that's what I'm saying. I think he is a really good manager, and I don't know why I've said that, but because I would always have a style of play, do you know what I mean?
Jack Ross
Do
is
you
a
think
good
his
manager,
style of
you're
play is
right.
maybe this, but dropping Boyle and Murphy in the spaces? Kind of looked to me at the weekend.
Did it?
You said Muff's a correct manager, no, didn't you?
Well said, but no, he's good. He's a good guy, Muff.
Are you worried for your big mate Charles? Dundee United. They didn't look great to me at the weekend.
That's what I'm saying. I can't see.
First game.
I don't know. I think there's a lot to take out of that first game. I know we're saying first game and players making debuts and whatever, and we're talking about the guy at Celtic coming in, what have you. Don't judge too quick. But see, for me, Dundee United, I just didn't.
I couldn't tell you
grasp.
they were trying to get the ball from one end to the other.
Told you they're my dark horses as well.
Who Dundee United that? I'll take that a bit. What, you saying top
I
six?
said it last week. I'm
Yeah,
not saying
top
I'm not saying top six. It's just that they will be my dark horses.
Okay.
I think they'll be better than what they were last year.
Andy, what was it like with fans back?
Brilliant.
Amazing.
How many was in Tynecastle?
6, I think.
Superb.
6,000.
You got
Brilliant,
3
man.
knocks, mate, didn't you?
It's been a while. There you go, mate. Red card, told you.
I've seen you doing the ground a few times.
Malice.
Seen a
Malicious
different-
intent, that was.
Seen a different side to him playing at the fans, did you?
I didn't like that all the time, didn't you?
What was that?
With the badge all the time. Didn't like that.
Chasing down goalies.
Right, last week bit. Oh, we need to mention the big boy Ramirez. Looks good for Aberdeen by
Aye,
then. Good
striker.
signing.
Yep.
Played for America a couple of times. Put the ball in the box. The big man will.
It just shows you what we say on here is absolute nonsense, because we were going round the teams about who we thought would do this and who we thought would do that, and you obviously said last year that Aberdeen would struggle.
Yeah.
Look at how good they are.
Yeah.
We worried about Motherwell last week. They were actually really good. Hibs are still very good. Hearts unknown because they haven't signed a lot of players. We've got a couple of loanees in. I thought they were very good on Saturday. St Mirren going forward are good. And even like the Ross County St Johnstone game, it was a decent game as well.
Yeah.
St Johnstone created a few chances, missed a penalty, Ali McCann, wild. And Ross County had a draw for Malky Mackay back in football. So there's a lot to get excited about.
Your tears are plastered over that chair, innit?
Mate, stuck to this, I can't get off of this chair. I'm interested to see if we were to ask that after a couple of weeks what the relegation battle would be.
Yeah.
I think for me, Livy and Dundee United, maybe we might too.
Is the Jet enjoying it a bit?
I don't know, I haven't spoken to him in a while.
Yeah.
He's went a wee bit AWOL. I think
Boys are saying he's up Cadonas.
I think he's struggling. Like he said to me, like spending 6 weeks tied to a radiator wasn't good.
Somebody says he's seen him playing bowling with his top off up Cadonas.
Mate, I took up the bowls.
Oh, so you have? You heard this?
Mate, I took up the bowls, the green bowling.
I seen.
I quite like that.
Brilliant.
Is it good, Kev?
Mate, loved it.
Yeah, you
This
playing after it?
boy Alex says to me, so Alex, I need to get a game in this bowls. I'd love to try it. I've only beat him in it.
You beat him on your
I've
first?
only beat him, aye.
And he's been
I
playing for
never,
years?
I never beat him. I'm doing him a disrespect there. He beat me 10-9.
Right, but it was
But
close.
what a game. We'll go
Just
for
shows
it.
you a bit of big
No, what we
man's-
should do?
A big man to
Touch
touch.
the ball.
Here, no, what we should do?
Wait,
We
did
should do a
Alec not say it was
wee...
weird
feel-
that you kept doing that? to the
Mate,
boys?
we should do a wee open goal special at the Bulls.
Definitely. You into that, Paul?
No,
The
that's the
Bulls?
worst sport in the world.
No,
Really?
Skinny, you would like it.
I played it, it's pish, so boring, mate. Big Tatty Marshall, remember Tatty Marshall on the BBC? Just to chase his balls and that. Do you remember that? No?
Yeah.
The biggest balls you've ever touched, eh?
No, I hate balls, mate. My dad used to work on the bowling green.
Oh, mate, somebody came up to me in the gym. Says that you worked at the health club.
Who?
2 boys. And they said that when they would go up, you said, can we sign up? And you didn't know how to sign up, so you just keep getting them free trials.
3 trials, aye. It's unreal, isn't it?
Wait, could you not sign shit
Some
up?
man,
Don't know how to do it, don't know how to use the towel. Don't know how to open it up.
You just press open.
I just open the door and so you go jump in. That's fucking decent, isn't it?
So you've cost that company
Thousands.
thousands.
Because
And they're now on the
wasn't
league.
just 8 done it with. It's everybody that came in.
Some boy in you.
You've seen this at the linesman at the weekend, Edinburgh City?
Nah, I never seen it. So I
Max
was
Wright.
reading about it.
Gary Naismith went mental. Max Wright, so the Albion Rovers player was going to replace linesman. Can't happen, can it?
Nah, it can't happen.
Surely they've not
Edinburgh City were
offered it.
2-0 down, I know.
Do you know
And an Albion Rovers player's going to go as the linesman. Flag up, that's it.
Why, mate, who's offered that though?
Brilliant, though, innit?
Don't know whose
chance,
idea
innit?
it was. But the funniest thing we had was Stratton used to make young boys linesman games.
What?
So if you're playing 11v11 with the first team, you'd be called out to play with the first team. This was at Christmas time, so boys were off. He'd phone them to come in to linesman the game. But the worst thing is, mate, so these boys have turned up raging to linesman, and he would make them warm up with us. So he'd make them warm up to be a linesman.
How much are they shitting it and off, like experienced players at the back and that?
I don't know.
They're keeping it on side.
I'm sure the boys should get your fucking flag down, mate. Boys run up there Christmas Eve putting the flag up.
I take it in the lower leagues you don't have 4 officials.
Nah,
No 4th official.
nah.
What?
Nah, we didn't get a fourth
Fuck is
official.
it?
No.
That's dog and duck, that, isn't it? Why is that?
What didn't actually they for fourth
What
official?
was just get slaughtered?
I know, but surely, for example, that situation that's happened at the weekend,
Oh,
the
so they
fourth
can
official
jump on.
step in.
Yeah.
Is that not a thing?
I got the worst. I'd love to the worst booking ever at the weekend there.
I seen you get booked, aye. 60th minute.
Bizarre, mate.
What did you do?
Nothing. Booked his first tackle.
Your mouth though, weren't you?
No.
No.
Respect, mate, innit?
Aye.
Strange.
You need, obviously, you'll need to take
Victory,
Andy
yeah,
aside
victory,
and speak to Andy about how you avoid yellow cards. Because he obviously knows how to.
And then he goes and assaults somebody, mate, and there's
I
no
know.
booking.
That's what happens. You got
Not
mates in the game.
That was a shocker, by the way, honestly. Was
How was your relationship with linesman refs used to?
I'd probably more yellow cards in my career than I had goals. I just
You
scream
got
shit
him,
at them.
Aye.
I Mike Dean refereed
famous, didn't
me once.
Mike Dean refed him.
Aye,
No chance.
I did.
Wow.
I've got a picture of me squaring up to Mike Dean. I swear to God,
You're still alive to tell the
I'm
tale.
alive to tell the tale.
Wow.
Can't be right.
Count yourself lucky, mate.
Nah,
Mate, you've had a
yes.
fucking lucky escape.
People buried in Tranmere have done less than that.
6 or 7 red cards in my career.
What? 7 red cards?
6, thanks. 6 or
Good
7.
red cards?
3, 4, 4.
Why? Last man? Remember that last man?
You?
What you done?
Nah, that last man was a
One
shocker,
body, one
wasn't it?
line started
Why are you keeping all your red cards in face for a souvenir?
Well, you must have been sitting there a few times, Andy.
Yellow card, red cards on your face and yellow cards on your mouth.
You're staying in your bed, Paul.
Why did I come back in here?
Have you been sent off?
Aye, hit one body, one line, front post corner. One body, burst out Cretan.
What age?
13 was EV Hibs, Motherwell.
No, I mean in a proper game.
What, a big game? No.
Nah. Booked?
They tackle, eh?
Nah.
Nah.
Mouthy?
Nah.
Were you ever like right next to the linesman and speak to him or that?
Have you ever done a bad tackle in a game ever?
Aye, you've been sent off. You got sent off at Airdrie.
You know, seen the one
Is
at
it all Paddy
Airdrie?
Boyle?
We've got the video of that one.
Put that
That's-
scuddy right up in the air.
That's the best.
Mate, his touch was horrendous though.
Mate, generally I should have been sent off for the touch. It was that disgusting.
It was
Bad,
here versus
mate.
Airdrie, wasn't
It's
it?
chasing the ball.
Did you not get sent off
For a terrible touch,
Take a
yeah.
bad touch in the chop Sunday. I
90
remember
minutes
that.
out. I got ended up getting a 6-game ban for it because the fight after it as well.
No way. 6 game?
It's fucking
Just
fucking
How buzzing
mental,
you?
isn't it?
Remember the
You're
name?
buzzing, weren't you?
Remember the
Would you
name?
be buzzing with a 6-game ban?
Oh, you're mate over the moon, aren't you? You're actually like that. 6, that's shite. You should be 80. Here.
I'm peeling it just so it goes up.
Drink it.
No, I done it last year at the Cooper Show, remember?
So you did.
Mate, see, remember I took that story about I need the boy up Mars? The boy at Morton?
Nah.
Robbie Crawford?
Oh, so you did?
Need him up Mars, mate, at Ref Cottage. Try to do it off a ball.
What, and you get sent off for that?
I wasn't meaning it to be fucking...
Any
Well,
time.
didn't mean it to be dirty. Differently, I mean. Up Mars.
Did you get sent off for it?
No, get me out, kid.
Yeah.
Imagine you had a few red cards.
Just 2.
Was it? What
Aye.
far?
A headbutt.
Oh,
who'd you hit back?
Remember Fraser Fivey, Rangers hit, who's never headbutt. Ever.
You don't like him, you know?
Ah, he's sound,
Aye,
aye.
We played 5 the other week. Played well. You could play.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a good player.
Good player.
Generally, who's your favourite for League One?
I
I
honestly,
think there is one, mate.
I think you'll go up a day.
Eh?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, mate.
Co-favourite.
Same. We played them in the League Cup, beat them, but
Why did you beat him?
no, because you
Why
told,
did you
you
beat them?
told, because we pressed high like I told you I did against Rangers.
No, but I told you to do.
They've still got. They've still
He's compared
got.
Rangers to
No,
Rangers.
you gave me a report and I judged it accordingly for that report.
Okay, there's cracks in there too.
Tweaked a few things.
Coaching relationship.
No, this is what you
Well,
want to be in
Paul,
a
no, it's
when
not.
you're a
Paul,
combination.
well, we're not
you don't want to
invited
agree
on
all
to
the time.
No, but it has
So
to
worst
be,
thing you can
it
have.
has to be. It has
Compos
to be.
mentis.
No, you want. That's a great word, Simon.
Thanks, mate.
You want to be. You want to have different opinions and stuff, but I feel it's quite crossed that line a wee bit.
Do you think Steve Bruce, assistant, goes against the farms? Of course he does. What, you think he's happy to sit and sniff him, was it?
Nah, you're right.
I wonder what Gary Megson was doing 29 years ago. And what's your birthday again? Tell you what, boys, we've started the season well, ain't it? That was a good show, though.
That was a good show.
Nice of people to turn up on time, Mark.
No, sorry, boys.
Shambles.
I was
Do you want to go
25.
for dinner? For dinner?
We're going out for a few drinks, you got to come.
I've got coach tomorrow.
Where he's gone.
Are we done? Is that
That's
it?
us
How we
done,
end of that?
And
It was ended about an hour ago.
I've been acting, man.